There is a photograph hanging in the void. It was taken by a machine floating 1,000,000 miles from Earth. The machine was built to see what human eyes cannot, to look deeper, to look further back, to witness the first light that ever burned in the dark. And when that machine opened its mirror and stared into the abyss, it saw something no one was prepared to explain. Galaxies that should not exist, structures that should not be there, light from places that, according to everything humanity has ever believed about time and distance and origin, simply could not be real. But they are real. And what they suggest is not comforting. It is not elegant. It does not fit into our models or our mathematics or our carefully constructed understanding of where we are and how we got here. What the James Webb Space Telescope found is not just unexpected, it is terrifying. For most of human history, the universe was small. Not in truth, perhaps, but in conception, in what we could know, in what we dared imagine. The stars were fixed points. The Milky Way was the entirety of creation. And beyond that, there was only darkness and speculation. Even when Edwin Hubble turned his telescope toward the Andromeda Nebula in 1923 and realized it was not a cloud but another galaxy entirely, the universe remained comprehensible. Vast, yes, but not infinite, not unknowable. We drew maps. We calculated distances. We built a cosmology that made sense. The universe began with the Big Bang. 13.8 billion years ago, everything that exists erupted into being from a singular point. Space itself expanded outward, carrying matter and energy with it. And as time moved forward, galaxies formed. Stars ignited. Planets cooled. We told ourselves we understood the timeline. We measured the observable universe at 93 billion light-years across. A number almost too large to hold in the mind, but still a number, still a boundary, still something we could point to and say, that is as far as it goes. There was an edge to what we could see, a cosmic horizon drawn not by walls or limits in space itself, but by time, by the speed of light, by the simple fact that light from beyond a certain distance has not yet had time to reach us. It was elegant, it was symmetrical, it was safe, and it was wrong. The James Webb Space Telescope does not see the way we do. It does not capture visible light. It does not look at the universe the way a human eye would perceive it. Instead, it sees in infrared, heat, the faint stretched glow of objects moving away from us so quickly that their light has been pulled into wavelengths we cannot detect without help. It was built to do one thing above all others, to look backward in time. Because light is slow, impossibly fast by human standards, yes, but slow enough that when we look at distant objects, we are not seeing them as they are. We are seeing them as they were. The light from the sun takes 8 minutes to reach Earth. The light from the nearest star takes 4 years. The light from the Andromeda Galaxy takes 2.5 million years. And the light from the edge of the observable universe has been traveling for more than 13 billion years. The James Webb Space Telescope was designed to capture that light, to see the first galaxies, the first stars, the universe in its infancy, still glowing with the heat of creation. But when it looked, it did not see infancy. It saw maturity. Galaxies that were not supposed to exist yet, not in that form, not at that size, not with that much structure. Galaxies with spiral arms, with organized star clusters, with supermassive black holes already billions of times the mass of our sun. Galaxies that, according to every model, every simulation, every calculation we have ever made, should have taken billions of years longer to form. But there they were, enormous, ancient, impossible. And the more the telescope looked, the more it found. There is a problem with size. Not just the size of these galaxies, not just their mass or their brightness, or the fact that they appear far too developed for their age. The problem is what their existence implies. If galaxies this large and this organized existed when the universe was only a few 100 million years old, then the universe we thought we understood is not the universe that exists. Because galaxies do not form overnight. They require time. They require gravity to pull gas and dust together. They require generations of stars to live and die and seed the void with heavier elements. They require collisions and mergers and slow, patient accumulation. The models predicted that the first galaxies would be small, chaotic, dim, little more than clumps of stars scattered loosely in the dark. But the James Webb Space Telescope found giants, galaxies with hundreds of billions of stars, galaxies with structures so intricate and so refined that they look almost familiar, almost modern. And if they are that large, that quickly, then one of two things must be true. Either the universe is far older than we believe, or it is far larger, or both. Imagine a sphere, not a physical object, not something you can hold, but a conceptual boundary drawn around Earth, a sphere that represents everything we can see, everything that light has had time to reach us from since the beginning of time. That sphere is 93 billion light years across. But the universe does not end there. Space did not stop expanding at the edge of our vision. Galaxies did not cease to exist simply because their light has not reached us yet. There is more. There has always been more. And the James Webb discoveries suggest that more may not be a modest extension. It may be infinite. Not infinite in the poetic sense, not metaphorically vast, but actually, geometrically, physically infinite. A space that continues in every direction without end, without repetition, without closure. If the early universe was already producing massive galaxies, then the conditions for galaxy formation must have been active across a region far larger than the observable universe, far older, far more complex. And if that region is larger, then the total universe, the true universe, the universe beyond what we can ever hope to see, could dwarf the observable portion by factors we do not have language for. Not twice as large, not 10 times, not 1,000 times. Infinitely larger, a space so vast that the entirety of human experience, every star we have ever seen, every galaxy the James Webb has photographed, every measurement we have ever taken, exists inside a volume so small relative to the whole that it might as well not exist at all. There is no center. That is what the mathematics say. That is what the observations confirm. The universe does not have a middle. It does not expand outward from a point. It expands everywhere all at once. Every location in space is, from its own perspective, the center, and every direction looks the same. There is no edge either. Not a wall, not a boundary, not a place where space ends and something else begins. If the universe is infinite, then it has always been infinite, even at the moment of the Big Bang. Even when all the matter and energy we can see was compressed into a region smaller than an atom, that region was infinite too, just denser. And as it expanded, it did not grow into something larger. It simply became less dense. The distances between things increased, but the totality, the whole, remained infinite, which means that everything we have ever known, every thought, every discovery, every monument, every word ever spoken or written, exists in a neighborhood so unimaginably tiny within the infinite whole that calling it insignificant would be a kindness. We are not at the center of anything. We are not near the center. There is no center to be near. Light is running away, not metaphorically, literally. The space between galaxies is expanding, and the farther away a galaxy is, the faster it moves away from us. Not because it is traveling through space, but because space itself is stretching. And there is a threshold, a distance beyond which galaxies are moving away so quickly that their light will never reach us. Not in a billion years. Not in a trillion. Not ever. Those galaxies are not gone. They still exist. Stars are still burning there. Planets may still orbit. Life, perhaps, looks up at their own sky and wonders what lies beyond. But they will never see us, and we will never see them. The observable universe is not just a boundary of vision. It is a boundary of possibility, a horizon beyond which no information, no light, no signal can ever cross. And that horizon is shrinking. Every second, galaxies slip past it. They fade, they vanish. Not because they are destroyed, but because they are moving away faster than light can travel through the expanding space between us. In the far future, trillions of years from now, civilizations that arise in our galaxy will look out at the sky and see almost nothing. A few nearby galaxies, bound to us by gravity, and beyond that, only darkness. They will have no evidence that the universe was ever larger, no way to know that billions of galaxies once filled the void, no way to detect the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang, because it will have stretched into wavelengths too faint to measure. They will think they live in a small, quiet, eternal universe. And they will be wrong. The James Webb Space Telescope is still looking. It is still collecting light, still photographing the impossible, still sending back images of galaxies that should not be there. And every new image raises the same question. How much is out there that we will never see? How much has already slipped past the horizon? How much structure? How much complexity? How much history exists in the parts of the universe that are forever beyond our reach? We do not know. We cannot know. And that, perhaps, is the most terrifying realization of all. Not that the universe is large, not that it is old, not even that it may be infinite, but that it does not care whether we understand it. It does not pause for us. It does not slow down. It does not wait for our instruments to catch up, for our theories to mature, for our minds to wrap themselves around the scale of what we are embedded in. It simply is, vast, indifferent, relentless, and we are left standing in the dark, holding a photograph of something we can barely comprehend, knowing that it is not the full picture, knowing that it will never be the full picture, knowing that the true size of the universe is not a number we will ever calculate. It is a silence we will never fill. Somewhere, far beyond the edge of what we can see, light is still traveling. It has been traveling for billions of years. It will travel for billions more. And it will never reach us. The universe continues. We do not.